Good evening and welcome to today's meeting. We're going to have the invocation from Elder Henry Graham of First Riverdale Seventh-day Adventist Church. How you doing, sir? Please stand. Be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'm going to ask that you touch somebody, please. Father God, we are here tonight to do your business. And we ask, Lord Jesus, that the Holy Spirit stop by this place. Give us wisdom from on high as we serve you, as we serve humanity. Thank you, Lord, for being our Lord and Savior. In the blessed name of Jesus, let your people say, Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to announce at this time that the board generally consented to hold item number 10 on page 5, which is ordinance 2014-232, an ordinance to amend the Code of Clayton County, Georgia as amended, specifically Code of Clayton County, Georgia, Part 2, Chapter 70, Personnel, by deleting the existing Article 2 Code of Ethics and substituting in lieu thereof a new Article 2 Code of Ethics. Apparently there were some questions from the board that need to be answered, so this is in abeyance for the time being. There was also a discussion in the 6:30 pre-meeting regarding items 26 through 30 dealing with the Clayton County Hospital Authority and general obligation bonds. At this time, Chairman, would you like to get a motion from the board on whether or not we're holding those items tonight?
Yes, is there a motion? I'll make the motion to amend the agenda as stated. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly moved in second. Those in favor, aye. Aye.
And who made that second?
Hambrick.
Commissioner Hambrick.
Commissioner Hambrick.
And your motion is to hold those items 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30?
As well as
Item number 10,
item
which I had.
10 was by consensus, right?
yes.
So you don't need a vote on that? Okay.
Okay, so for the record, we're holding item number 10 as well as items 26 through 30.
That's correct.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry, what was that vote? I didn't hear.
We got the vote was, we didn't vote. We asked for a vote, and I didn't hear from anybody other than myself. And so, anybody opposed? So it's unanimous.
So we're doing this by consensus then?
Yes.
Okay.
I think a no vote doesn't count except with the majority.
Okay. Well, we have a majority unless I hear otherwise here. Correct? Anybody?
Okay, but we do have a motion, and that was by you, Chairman,
That's
and Ms.
correct.
Hambrick.
Second by Ms. Hambrick.
Right, okay.
Right.
Okay. All right, and I'd also like to note that the executive session held tonight will pertain to personnel and litigation matters. All right. Next, we have approval of the September 2nd, 2014 regular business meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the September 2nd, 2014 regular business meeting minutes.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Properly moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Okay, and now we move to the public comment section. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have approximately 8 people who have signed up for public comment. We ask that you speak clearly and distinctly into the microphone so that we can have you on our video recording as coming through very clearly. We want to mention at this time that issues requiring public possible action by the board may be added to a future agenda. Issues that may need to be addressed by the county administration will be duly noted. Abusive language and/or personal attacks on board members, county employees, or other citizens will not be permitted, and such persons will be ruled out of order by the chair. All speakers must adhere to this policy and other rules as may be necessary, and this is per Resolution 2011-28. Personnel matters generally will be handled in an executive session of the Board of Commissioners, and in compliance with state statutes, matters of personnel will not be discussed in public. Each person has a maximum time limit of 3 minutes. When you come up, please state your name and county of residence for the record, please.
Dr.
Chairman.
Henry Anderson.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Mrs. Sana Gregory of District 1, Vice Chairwoman, Attorney Judge Ms. Shana Rooks of District 3, Chairman and Chief Mr. Jeffrey Turner of the entire Clayton County Metropolitan Municipal and Unincorporated Areas, Commissioner Ms. Gail Hamburg of District 2, and Commissioner Mr. Michael Edmondson of District 4. It is now evaluation time, and the evaluation spotlight this evening shines on the County Clerk of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, Mrs. Shelby D. Haywood. As you all know, Mrs. Haywood will be retiring from her professional duties at Clayton County, with her last day being Friday, October 24th, and her last commission meeting on Tuesday, October the 21st. And I want to take my time to give recognition to the great work she has done, because I'm pretty sure with her last meeting, you will publicly, in your own way, acknowledge her years of great service. She's a 22-year veteran of Clayton County, with her first 9 years being with the Tax Assessor's Office, and her last 13 years working for you all, the first 4 being Assistant County Clerk, and the last 9 being the County Clerk. And in my years of knowing you, when you became clerk for the Clayton County Board of Commissioners meeting, Ms. Haywood Shelby, you have shown yourself to be a very energetic, dedicated, loyal, tireless, hardworking, highly efficient and effective, and supremely productive Clayton County employee in your work duties and responsibilities. Your great work, Shelby, has greatly motivated me to greatly improve, enhance, elevate, upgrade, and make even better my public commenting, mainly with the addition of my performance evaluating and numerical rating scale, which, as you know, I've already implemented. Shelby, you are indeed one of Clayton County's super supreme, outstanding, top-notch, first-class employee, and your great, seriously, and your overall work performance has merited you my highest evaluation rating of a 10 plus. But even that does not do you justice, because in my years of knowing you, because of the great work that you have done with everything that I've said, and even much more that people know you have done, your superiors, the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, your work, in my opinion, is at the level, and I don't use these words, I don't throw these words out, but it has reached a level of supremacy, dominance, and super mastery. You are a master of your craft and your field of work for the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, and I mean that from the heart. So, Shelby, I want to thank you for your 22 years of service for this county, and I wanted to take the time to give you my highest evaluation to tell you how greatly appreciative I am, and how you have, even your great work has even affected me in coming on public comment. And in closing, Mrs. Shelby D. Haywood, you will soon be Chief County Clerk Emeritus for the Clayton County Board of Commissioners and Director Emeritus of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners meeting. Thank you again for your 22 years of great service.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson.
Ms. Haywood, I think you allowed him to speak for a minute longer there.
No, I didn't.
All right. Jeremy Sistrunk. Jeremy Sistrunk. Danny Kirby.
Mr. Commissioner and County, Mr. Chairman and County Commissioners, I'm here again to plead for the lives of the animals that y'all are slaughtering. And in their honor, I'd like to say this. Isn't it frustrating when someone does not do what you expect them to do? It's very frustrating to me and to a great deal of the public of America. All we want you to do is stop killing our dogs.
On July 17th, you killed 23. On August 14th, you killed 15. On August 20th, you killed 20. On August 23rd, you killed 11. On August 26th, you killed 40. On September the 4th, you killed 27. My first wife died in my arms when she fell out of a boat. My big sister died on the operating table, having the heart valves removed and replaced. My second wife died of an aneurysm, and my mother sat on the couch and propped her foot up for the last time. I am tired of the killing. I'm tired of the death. You have the money available to provide veterinarian care for every animal that comes through the door and transport to get them to animal rescue rather than kill them. Why are you killing them? Because you're making money off of killing them. It's cheaper to euthanize a dog than it is to save it. Your plan of building a new animal shelter that is smaller than the one we already have, what is that going to solve? It's not going to solve anything. You know, let's use our money responsibly. Let's put an in-house veterinarian full-time that will spade, neuter, euthanize, not euthanize, but immunize and treat for everything that they need treated for so we can get them to rescue. That's all we want. Let's just use our money responsibly, okay? And in the end, there's only one question you need to ask. Only one question. What would Jesus Christ do? Would he kill his creatures or would he fight to save them? Come on, man. May God bless you all. Thank you.
And Mr. Kirby, please get with Deputy Chief Hawkins for the dimensions of the new animal control shelter. I think you have some bad information. We actually have more kennels than what the current one houses. Kim Kirby.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. I'm a homeowner here in Clayton. Realizing that no kill is actually 95% kill-free due to aggressive and beyond help sick and injured dogs, it is possible and in demand in our county. You say that Clayton County Animal Control belongs to the taxpayers. The Clayton County Humane Society is no different. The taxpayers of Clayton pay for their building and all their utilities. I know that they pull less than 1% of animals from animal control. When someone ties a dog or leaves a cat outside their building, they take them directly to animal control. I would like to see them do more for animal control as a whole, seeing as how I am paying their rent and their utilities. I would like for them to explain how they intend to put my tax dollars to work. I would like to know why I have been banned from CCAC and CCPD Facebook pages. I have been ostracized for speaking at Board of Commissioners meetings. My First Amendment rights have been violated. CCAC urges rescue to step up. If you would offer fundraisers on these animals, I believe that rescues that have moved on to other counties may return. Rescue an animal is costly. Bedding, spay, neuter, test, parvo and heartworm treatment where necessary, boarding, transport, and overhead are all costly. True access to the animals would also be a plus. I was denied access to animal control. Day 1 because I was a civilian. Day 2 because I was a rescue group. Day 3 I was allowed in only after the captain spoke to my attorney. On that day I was only allowed to look at the dogs I had inquired of. I was refused access to the outside east yard, the puppy room, and the inside west wall. We cannot save what we cannot see. We come to look because you are not posting all the dogs on your social media page like before. When I applied for euthanasia info through Open Records, I was denied. Can you explain this to me? Your lack of transparency feeds the fire of the world that is watching everything you do. To them, you are monsters. 148 animals were put down from January 1st to June 8th. And since CCPD has taken over access to the CCAC, 144, only 4 less dogs were killed between July 17th and September 4th. 40 dogs were killed on August 26th. How big of a truck does it take to haul 40 healthy dogs in garbage bags to the dump? Is that enough dogs to maybe fill up your kitchen or your bath or maybe your child's room? Privatize animal control. We will prevail. Proverbs 12:10. Whoever is righteous has regard for the life of his beast, but the mercy of the wicked is cruel. Where's our new rescue coordinator? Where is our vet tech? And where is our new building? Thank you for your time.
Ms. Kirby, let me ask you, have you, those questions you are asking of this board, have you asked the police chief?
Pardon?
The questions that you are asking of this board, have you had the opportunity to talk to the chief of police and his staff about?
As far as the vet tech and the rescue coordinator and
Well, you said you've been
I
denied.
have applied for all of this through open records. I was denied the questions that I asked about euthanasia through open records, and I was told that there is no rescue coordinator or vet tech. So yes, basically I have asked. I spoke with him this afternoon, as a matter of fact. Captain Jackson.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Tanya Jackson.
Hi, good evening, Commissioners. The reason for my time here is to speak to y'all about 2 important things that are important to our county and to me. One of them is our Social Security office. We have been getting booted, towed, everything because there's not adequate parking. So my suggestion is, for our second thing, is the mall. Because our mall doesn't have like a lot of people coming in right now, I guess low seller or whatever. My idea is to put the Social Security office in the mall. Put it in a place that's outside access to the mall. There's plenty of parking that will also in turn draw people into the mall. I love the mall. We need our mall. And I just ask that y'all consider that. And what was the next one? Oh yeah, and the second one was, let's put different businesses in the mall to keep it active, like Georgia Power. Maybe we can get one of those in there. Maybe a post office satellite place, just to draw people into the mall that we can keep our mall open. I love the mall. We need the mall. I shop at the mall. So, I mean, that may sound insignificant, but really, we need the Social Security office to be moved to a place with more adequate parking. Because my mom was booted. That was $75 before they would even take the boot off right then. Most people that are going to the Social Security office are on fixed income. And we can't afford $75 booting and $150 for towing. And it's just been a headache. I mean, the Social Security office has done a great job. They're getting people in and out in a timely manner. I mean, quick, fast, and in a hurry. But still, until you are called and until you are seen, you got to park somewhere. Majority of the people that come are handicapped. I don't know, we could have 50 to 75 handicap parking, which is not for the location where they are now. That's not adequate. So if the commissioners, if y'all could just keep our mall open, maybe look at putting, you know, alternative businesses in the mall, things that will get people to come into the mall. Like if everybody needs Georgia Power. Well, I do. I love Georgia Power.
Okay.
Go Georgia
man.
Power. Anyway.
Okay.
So we could put a Georgia Power in there. We could put a mail place. We could just get alternative, you know, businesses in there to attract people into the mall. And move the Social Security office over there. Plenty of parking. I mean, Mara, y'all gonna lose y'all booting money.
Okay.
But, you know.
All right. We appreciate your comments, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that house in one of our buildings?
No.
Okay.
Cinnamon Baldwin.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you all. I've been told not to come here by my attorney since I have a lawsuit against the county. But the issue before us is voting on Sunday, and I think that's very important. I actually attended the election board's meeting today, and they voted 4-1 for Sunday voting. I could say a whole lot more about that, but there's a young lady who follows me I think can address this issue much better. Thank you.
Winter Jones.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Winter Jones. As a sixth grader of the M.D. Roberts Performing Arts Magnet School, I often reflect on lessons taught during previous grade levels. These lessons often spark questions about my community. For instance, last year we learned about suffrage. I learned about the laws which protect public vote. I learned about the community leaders which help stop intimidation, tactics, and economic pressures meant to discourage citizens from the voting process. As I trust that my elders and community leaders will respond to any threats against the democratic process, I begin to wonder what Clayton County leaders are doing to prevent hidden threats. There was recently a newscast which talked about Sunday voting in DeKalb County. I believe that by adopting this practice in Clayton County, more citizens will have the opportunity to vote. The main reasons why Sunday voting will benefit the county are the following. Most adults have work off on Sundays. More neighbors are available to help each other give rides to the poll. And last but not least, more neighbors are available to babysit for single moms and dads while they vote. For me, these reasons alone stop some of the economic pressures which many Clayton County households face. I am only 11 years old, but as a responsible and dedicated child of our county, I know that I will someday inherit a county based on the decisions of adults and policymakers. I asked the board, will you vote for me? Make a proactive stand against voters' demonstration. Please allow Sunday vote polls in Clayton County. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephen Fincher. Stephen Fincher.
Thank you.
Chairman, my name's Steve Fincher. I'm president of Clayton House Incorporated over here on Broad Street. I know a lot of people in this room do not know about us, even though we've been there 30 years as of this past July. Ex-police chief Ivy Scholler helped get that place started. We come to you asking for a $10,000 grant, which I'd really like to ask for more, to be honest. But to tell you what we do, we provide space for recovery for families of alcoholics and addicts that come in the order of Al-Anon, Alateen, AA meetings. We feed probably 150 on Thanksgiving. We're open all day long on Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. So these people, because a lot of people getting sober, have nowhere to go on holidays. We provide on Saturday night karaoke and a dance, so they won't go to the bars instead of, and will come to us. We also get between 2,500 and 3,000 court-ordered people per month that come through. And unfortunately, most of our operation is through donations through a basket pass. Well, these people that are court-ordered, most of them do not put a dime in the basket. They don't even pay for their coffee. And just to give you a little bit of what we go through, this was for April. We had Al-Anon and Alateen and AA donations of $1,380. Sounds like a lot. Okay, but you get down here to where our expenses are $500 for cleaning, $235 for literature, security system, $120 because we broke into twice in December and vandalized. We have gas expense of $502.30. We had trash pickup, $70. Water, $90.30. This is a total utilities of $940.54. Our total expenses was $1,860.04, which put us $480.04 in the hole for the month. So that is why we come to y'all, because actually every month we operate in the hole. You know, and we want to provide the same thing that we've been doing for this city and this county for 30 years. But if we don't get the grants from Clayton County, we cannot continue, and some people would probably be turned away. We did just in December, we had $1,000 worth of vandalism. A couple of months ago, we had another $800 worth of vandalism. You know, we need you, is what I'm trying to say. You know, I'm a recovered alcoholic. I got sober there in '87. Forgive me for getting emotional. And I've been sober ever since. You know, and I give my everyday work to that place free of charge. The only person over there that gets a salary is the cleaning crew. Everybody else volunteers. You come over Saturday before Halloween and see what we do. We'll have a room full of kids getting candy, playing games. We'll have pumpkin walk. We do other functions to try to raise, like we'll have an auction that night. Don't know how much we'll raise, maybe $600 if we're lucky. But we try to do things all year to keep that place open and keeping it functioning.
I'm sorry, Mr.
People of
Fincher.
Clayton County.
We appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Mr. Fincher, have you ever applied for one of our grants?
Every year.
Okay.
I got one up there right now.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd like the board members to step down, please, at this time for the presentation of a proclamation. Clayton County observes September 17th through the 23rd of 2014 as Constitution Week, presented by Chairman Turner. And I'd like to call Rosemary Penson, who's a representative on behalf of the Daughters of American Revolution, and other chapter representatives to step forward at this time, please. Proclamation reads as follows. Clayton County recognizes Constitution Week September 17th through the 24th of 2014. Whereas September 17, 2014 begins the national celebration of Constitution Week. The Constitution of the United States of America stands as a testament to the tenacity of Americans throughout history to maintain their liberties and freedom, and to ensure those inalienable rights for every American. And whereas this year marks the 227th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is the belief of the Daughters of the American Revolution that those who wrote the Constitution believed that no government can create freedom, but that government must guard freedom rather than encroach upon the freedoms of its people. And whereas the Constitution is recognized as an icon of freedom for people around the world, and whereas for 124 years, the Daughters of the American Revolution have actively supported the principles of our Constitution, and whereas the tradition of celebrating the Constitution began in 1955, when the Daughters of the American Revolution petitioned our Congress of the United States of America. The congressional resolution was later adopted and signed into law on August 2, 1956, by President Dwight D. Eisenhower. And whereas the goals of the celebration are to emphasize citizens' responsibilities for protecting and defending the Constitution, preserving it for posterity, and inform the people that the Constitution is the basis for America's great heritage and the foundation for our way of life, and encourage the study of the historical events which led to the framing of the Constitution in September 1787. Now, therefore, I, Jeffrey E. Turner, Chairman, on behalf of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through the 24th of 2014 as Constitution Week in Clayton County, Georgia. I encourage all residents to read and study this historical document that serves as the foundation upon which our great nation was built. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of Clayton County, Georgia, to be affixed this 16th day of September in the year 2014. Jeffrey E. Turner, Chairman. Oh, you're welcome. No problem. Six. Don't even go there. Please. Okay. Next, the board will consider 7 requests by Ms. Ramona Thurman, Central Services.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, as it was discussed during the pre-meeting at 6:30, the proposed contract for the SPLOST program manager was not provided to the clerk by the close of business on Wednesday prior to this meeting, which is required by our Code of Ordinances, our parliamentary procedures, and our code. And the code would warrant that this item be placed on the next agenda.
Okay.
Okay, so in light of that, I'll make a motion to hold this item till the next business meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Probably moved in second. Any questions? Hearing
That was the
none.
SPLOST program manager to hold until the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Okay. The 6 items she has then.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners. I have 6 items for your consideration this evening for Central Services. The first item is tennis management for Clayton County International Park Tennis Center, annual contract request for 30-day extension, second amendment. This request is to amend the current contract with Premier Sport Facility, LLP, requesting a 30-day extension from November 1, 2014 to November 30, 2014 to allow for the rebid process for tennis management services for Clayton County. The current vendor was awarded this contract by the board on August 2nd, 2011, and has agreed to accept the amendment. I request you approve the recommendation, authorize the chairman or his designee to execute all necessary documents accordingly to accomplish the intent of the contract, and authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget accordingly.
Read them all together, please.
Okay. The second item is widening and reconstruction of Forest Parkway, Panola Road from east of Ellenwood Road to the Henry County line, Commission District Number 1, change order request, second contract amendment. The request is to amend the contract with Construction Management Engineering Services Incorporated for rock excavation in the amount of $39,761.25 with an additional 60 days for a project completion date of May 31, 2015. The original contract was approved by the board on February 19, 2013. Funding is available through the 2004 SPLOST funds. I request you approve the recommendation, authorize the chairman or his designee to execute all necessary documents accordingly to accomplish the intent of the contract, and authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget accordingly. The next item is Telecommunication and Data Services Annual Contract First Amendment. The request is to amend the current contract with AT&T to include additional pricing schedules. The original contract was approved by the board on May 6, 2014. Funding is available through the Information Technology and County's FY 2015 General Fund budget. I request you approve the recommendation, authorize the chairman or his designee to execute all necessary documents accordingly to accomplish the intent of the contract, and authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget accordingly. The fourth item is Thomas Road Sidewalk, Commission District Number 3, request for contract extension, First Amendment. The request is to amend the current contract with Quality Construction by McElroy Incorporated due to utility conflict resolutions taking additional time, which will require an additional 33 days for a project completion date of October 8, 2014. The original contract was approved by the board on January 21, 2014. I request you approve the recommendation, authorize the chairman or his designee to execute all necessary documents accordingly to accomplish the intent of the contract, and authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget accordingly. The next item is Clayton County Alarm and Sprinkler Systems Inspection and Services Annual Contract, RFB Package Number 14-40. This bid is for the inspections and servicing of county alarm and sprinkler systems. The recommendation is to award the contract to BSC Fire and Supply Incorporated. I think that's VSC. Hold on. It's V as in Victor SC. Fire and Supply Incorporated, based on the lowest responsive bidders meeting the required specifications. Funding is available through the 2015 Building and Maintenance General Fund budget. I request you approve the recommendation, authorize the chairman or his designee to execute all necessary documents accordingly to accomplish the intent of the contract, and authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget accordingly. The last item are 2 annual contract renewals. The first is RFP number 12-18, non-emergency medical transportation services for the Clayton County Aging Program. We're requesting renewal of the annual contract with MLB Transportation Incorporated from October 1, 2014 to September 30, 2015. There's one additional year renewal remaining on this contract. The proposal was originally approved by the board on September 4, 2012. The next item is RFP number 13-25, provision of congregate and home delivered meals for the Clayton County Senior Department. We're requesting renewal of the annual contract with Project Open Hand Atlanta Incorporated from October 1, 2014 to September 30, 2015. There are 2 additional one-year renewal periods remaining. This proposal was originally approved by the board on July 16, 2013. I request you approve this recommendation, authorize the chairman or his designee to execute all necessary documents accordingly to accomplish the intent of the contract, and authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget accordingly.
Do I have a motion? Make that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Properly moved and second. Are there any questions on any of the items?
I do, Mr. Chairman. RFB package 14-40. Maybe Mr. Markland can come forward. And anybody from Central Services, because it's going to be kind of comprehensive here. Okay. We have that VSC Fire and Security, Inc. was awarded the contract as the lowest responsive bidder, correct?
That's correct.
On the chart that was provided to the Board of Commissioners, there are two different distinct charts, starting on page 1 of 5. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, the first one says lowest bidder, Alliance Fire Protection.
I know where you're going with this. When I first got this, mine was in color. The problem is, across the top, they were in 3 different colors: lowest bid, second lowest bid, third lowest bid. It's on 2 sheets, and each column was in a different color. And the verbiage above each column is not who was the lowest bidder.
Okay, so when it says VSC Fire Security as a third lowest bidder, they're not the third lowest bidder.
No, ma'am. Originally, when I got this copy, I forgot what the colors were, but it's like yellow for the lowest, blue for the second.
Okay.
It was color-coded.
It was color-coded, and not the columns indicating what was above them, because it's on 2 separate sheets. Because when I first got it, the color-coded confused me at first, too.
Okay, so let's go to VSC Fire and Security. Where they have no bid listed, does that mean we're not going to have protection or the services, the sprinkler costs, for instance, for that?
No.
What does it mean?
The biggest concern I had with them, because I've got word of a company coming in extremely low, if they were trying to make it up on the back end.
That was going to be my next question.
I contacted all the references, and they've not had a problem with them. They've done their contract, they've done their job, they've had no issues, and they've actually renewed them for a second year.
Okay.
So, that was my big concern too. It's 50%. I mean, they were less than 50% of the next bid.
Yeah, I know.
And we'll hold them to the contract and see what happens, because won't let them come in on the backside. But I haven't had any indications of that. We contacted all the people they gave us, and they were very well pleased with them.
Okay. On their bid sheet, it says no bid for Child and Adolescent Center. We don't need sprinkler cost for that area? Are they not going to cover the sprinkler cost for the Adolescent Center?
Some of these locations are not ours.
Okay.
We struck some from the bid because they're not county buildings, they're not state buildings that we oversee.
Okay. So we don't oversee the DFAX building?
They pay for that themselves.
Okay. That's it.
We maintain it, and we'll do the repairs to the system if it needs it, and they got their own monitoring system, their own checks and balances that they do.
Okay, that was it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, and as Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Thurman.
No, we have
has-
not taken a vote.
Oh, I'm
yet.
sorry, go ahead. Mhm.
Are there any other questions? All right, hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
That's unanimous, okay. All right, and as Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Thurman has 5 budget amendments.
Thank you.
Take them together, please.
Budget Amendment 2-59 is for professional services. It's to amend the budget in the amount of $1,573,960 to cover additional fees, utilities, advertisement, evidence expenses, and claims for FY 2014. Budget Amendment 2-63, Domestic Seminars Fund, to amend the budget in the amount of $1,431 to cover additional other contract services fees for FY 2014. 2-69 is for Central Services, to amend the budget in the amount of $1,297 to cover additional meeting and rental expenses for FY 2014. Budget Amendment 2-05 for Other General Government, is to amend the budget in the amount of $206,474 to roll over donations received prior to FY 2014 year end, recognize a donation from Stevens Construction, and reappropriate funds to complete installation of 4 pavilions in Clayton County parks and other various projects throughout the department. Budget Amendment 4-17 is 2009 SPLOST, to amend the budget in the amount of $512,120 for field renovations to 1/2 of the Lovejoy Regional Park fields.
Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the request presented by Ms. Thurman.
Is there a second? I'll second. Any questions? Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the board will now consider a request of Renee Bright, Director of Human Resources.
Thank you. I have one item tonight, and the request is for a supplement of $9,410.80 for the Director of Community Development due to the additional duties he has assumed as the HUD Administrator. HUD recommended Clayton County reduce its administrative costs, and this was accomplished by eliminating 3 positions. The Director took on the responsibility of the HUD Administrator, while the duties from the other 2 positions were split between the HUD staff. This supplement will be funded through HUD and will be eliminated if the funding is not available.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Probably moved in second. Are there any questions?
I do.
Commissioner Rooks.
Where is the audit from HUD? Who has it? And why weren't we provided with it?
Mr. Jickie.
That was at least a year ago, maybe longer.
Before we were here?
Maybe so.
Okay.
The audit outlined the need for us to reduce the staff, correct?
Yes, the audit was a year ago, and that was the first time HUD came to audit the county. As you know, the county took over the administration of this program from a consultant. So when we took over from the consultant, HUD came in and did an audit, which was a year ago, and some of the findings kind of preceded us. But part of one of the recommendations from the findings was to reduce the staff size that we set up to be able to do it. So we went and corrected all of the findings and reduced the staff. But as you know, the only way to reduce staff is not to empty the division. One of the things that happened was the HUD administration resigned, and that was where the cost savings will be, because it required direct interface with HUD, and it's not something that the folks that we have right now, and most of them are fairly new to the program, will do, and I took over that responsibility.
Okay. The pension portion of it comes out of the federal funding, or does it come from the county?
I believe all the funding comes from HUD.
All of it, pension too? Okay.
And it's correct.
Now, Ramona said yeah, and Jonette said no. Which one?
Can pension come from the federal funding?
And it's also money from CDBG that could be used for other projects.
What was the answer? Because one was shaking.
Because the supplement, it won't come from the, it has to come from general fund.
All of it?
No, just the pension.
Just the pension part?
It's not subject to pension. Supplements are not subject, yeah. She's right.
Commissioner Gregory, you had a question.
No. I was just pointing out when Commissioner Rooks asked that question, one was shaking their head saying no, and the other's shaking their head saying yes. So
Commissioner Edmondson, you had a question. You made a statement.
I'm just making a statement. I'm saying this isn't additional CDBG funds. This is money that would have been or could be used for other projects within the CBG program. Is that correct?
Not quite. The HUD have caps in the different, all the monies they give us. This money will be coming from the administrative cap.
So the prior HUD administrator was paid out of the CDBG funds?
Yes.
Okay. And does pension have to be paid? I mean, I don't know how it works, but.
The supplement is not, is what Jeanette was saying.
It's not subject to, yeah.
In our ordinance for pension, it's not subject to pension.
So then this is not correct?
No, it'll just be the supplement, the amount of the actual supplement, the 10% of his salary, plus the FICA and the Medicare. 7.65%.
How much does that turn out to be now?
You talking about the increase or
She says
overall
pension.
salary?
She says pension isn't applicable here. So what would just take out the pension?
It's gonna be 10% of his current salary.
Right. I see that.
And plus the FICA.
And that's it.
Yes, ma'am. So we can reduce that 11,342.20, about $1,200.
How many jobs are you doing, Mr. EGK?
I'm doing, in addition to.
Right, that this will cover.
Well, I'm doing the.
No, is this the 3 positions that were?
Yeah, we actually split some of the employees that, due to transfer and other kinds of attrition that left, we kind of reorganized the way we do work to accommodate those 2. Some of them are administrative in nature, so we kind of reorganized to do those. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
And the FICA comes out of what pot?
The FICA would come out of the,
General fund.
all of it has to come out of the grant.
Where? Where's it coming out of?
FICA?
The FICA, the Social Security taxes and Medicare, has to follow the supplement. So it will all come out of the CDBG. Yes, ma'am. Everything will come out of there except for the pension. Pension he's not eligible for the pension on that supplement, so the total is actually $10,128 versus the $11,342.20 that was on the original request.
Okay.
And should that funding goes away, then what happens?
If that funding goes away, the duties go away, the money goes away, and he's back at his original salary.
All right,
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, one last question. What did the prior HUD administrator earn? What was her salary?
It was, and don't hold me to this, Commissioner, it's around about 73,000 a year.
Okay.
Did you say 73,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
Around 73,000.
It was somewhere in that ballpark.
Yes.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
It's 4-1.
4 to
Mr.
1.
Edmondson
Edmondson opposed. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And Miss Christy Barnes, our Chief Staff Attorney, is next.
Ms. Barnes, please take them all together.
No, will you
Except
take,
for-
except for 233?
And 234.
233 and 234.
Except
Then take the
And
rest.
236.
Okay.
All right.
36.
Take them all separate there.
Might as well take
Yes,
them all separate.
Take
236.
them all separate.
Let's take them all separately. Okay.
One at a time. First is resolution number 2014-233, which is a resolution to correct certain errors pertaining to previously approved increases in supplemental compensation for the district attorney's office, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, to provide an effective date, to repeal conflicting laws, and for other purposes. This will reduce a previously approved error for supplemental compensation to Assistant District Attorney Billy Dixon by reducing the supplemental compensation amount from $16,622 to the corrected amount of $5,269, and will also remove a supplemental compensation that was affixed to an executive ADA position, which has been eliminated.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly moved and second. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay, that
3 to
was still
2.
3 to 2 in favor with Gregory and Hamburg opposing. Is that right?
I didn't vote for the original one, so.
Okay, but that was still 3 to 2, I'm asking. In favor with Gregory and Hamburg opposing?
That's correct.
Okay.
Next is resolution number 2014-234, which is a resolution by the Clayton County Board of Commissioners authorizing an additional day of advance voting wherein electors may vote in the November 4th, 2014 general and special election, to authorize the chairman to perform all other acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes. This will allow for the Clayton County Elections and Registration Office, the Carl Rodenizer Center, the South Clayton Recreation Center, and the Virginia Burton Gray Recreation Center to be open to allow electors to participate in early voting, to be held on Sunday, October 26, 2014, from 12 noon until 5 p.m., and this will remove the Morrow Municipal Complex.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chair.
Properly moved in second. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Next is a resolution number 2014-235, which is a resolution authorizing the county to enter into a settlement agreement, settling all claims set forth in the matters involving, and the resolution indicates Jerica Phillips and Sheila Rose Edwards. It should be just Sheila Rose Edwards, and we will make that correction prior to the board's signature. To authorize the chairman to execute the agreement and otherwise perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense. All this may be required under the terms of the settlement agreement, to provide an effective date of this resolution and for other purposes.
Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Is there a second? I'll second. Properly moved in second. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Next is resolution number 2014-236, which is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into articles of agreements with certain community charitable organizations, governmental agencies, and professional service providers located and conducting business in Clayton County, to authorize the chairman to execute the agreements and otherwise perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense. All this may be required under the terms of the agreements, to provide an effective date of this resolution and for other purposes.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Probably moved in second. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Commissioner Reyes.
It's actually for Commissioner Rooks. Commissioner Rooks, if I recollect correctly, you voiced some concerns about the process and the recipients of these grant funds last year, and I shared those concerns, and I don't recollect any policy shifts from then. Do you?
No, I don't think there were. In fact, I'm sure there are a number of department heads or heads of organizations that are here regarding this. Is that right, Ms. Barnes?
That's correct. We reached out to all of the organizations that are listed and asked that they have a representative to be here available for questions tonight.
Okay, I have questions for all of them. So we want to start from Alzheimer's Support Services, Inc.
That's the only question that I had.
Call out the name.
Alzheimer's Support Services, Inc.
Have that representative come forward, please.
Good evening, how are you? Can you give us your name, please?
My name is Janice Coy.
Ms. Corder?
Coy.
Coy, can you speak into the mic because we're recording? Ms. Coy, how much of the $35,000 given by the board is, how much is your budget contingent on what we give from the county?
The county gives, our budget is about $500,000 to $600,000. We get $35,000 from the county.
Okay. And we ask these, I'm asking these questions so that this is the first time I think we've done these memorandums. Is that right, Ms. Barnes?
Well, we have the articles of agreement every time. This is the first time that we've had them attached to this resolution.
Okay, so this is the first time we've done this process. So for the public, since it comes from general fund, I wanted to just ask some questions for the record. And what population, what size population do you serve for the county?
Currently, we have 46 clients in the center, but we serve clients and caregivers. So at any given time, we have in excess of 90 clients.
Okay.
We serve clients with adult daycare and overnight care. We serve caregivers with support groups and referrals and other types of support.
Okay. I have no other questions. Anybody else?
Thank you, Ms. Any other questions?
Arts Clayton.
Now, I received a phone call this afternoon from Linda Sutherland, and she had another engagement that she was not going to be able to be here.
Okay. Clayton County Association Against Family Violence Incorporated, Securus House.
Good evening. My
Good
name is
evening.
Christy Taylor, and I'm the Outreach Services Advocate at the Securus House, which is also known as the Association Against Domestic Violence or Battered Women.
Okay, Ms. Taylor, same question. Do you know how much of your budget is contemplated with the $60,000 from the county?
I do apologize, but I wouldn't know that information.
Okay. Do you know how many persons you serve in your facility?
We service all of Clayton County as well as any other county or state that would call in that had a domestic violence situation or needed emergency shelter.
How many women do you serve per year?
A year. I don't even know the number.
Do you
because
know
it's
how many
so
currently
great.
you have now?
In shelter, we have about family sizes. We have 6 families in, and we have we can service up to 3 single women at any time.
Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Calvary Refuge Incorporated.
Tawana Tarno, Executive Director.
Okay, would you say your name slowly, please?
Tawana Tarno, T-A-R-N-O.
Ms.
Thank you.
Turner, my same questions. Based on your budget, how much of what the county gives?
Our budget is $559,000. We received $25,000 from the commissioner.
Okay. How many people do you serve?
Last year we served 1,107 men, women, and children.
And this is what kind of?
It's an emergency shelter from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's the only one in Clayton County that does serve all 3 men, women, and children. And then our transitional program serves families, and it's a long-term program. They're both on the same site. We have a total of 117 beds.
Okay. That's all my questions.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
No, you're good. Thank you.
Clayton County Community Service Authority.
It's the Board of Health.
Oh, I know Board of Health.
Beachy Yates, Executive Director.
Good evening. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
I know some of these answers, but for our public, let's give it to them. How much of your budget is contemplated by what the county gives?
Yeah, our total agency budget is almost $8 million, and of course the county budget is $264,000.
And how many people do you serve?
Total agency-wide, 25 to 30,000, and with the county funds, we're able to do approximately 600 to 650.
And people come to you for rental assistance and things like that, don't they?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Those are all my questions. Clayton Community Service Board.
Good evening, gentlemen, commissioners. My name is Andrea Cheever, and I am the CEO for Clayton Center.
Okay, Ms. Cheever, same questions. Your budget, how much of what the county gives? We give close to a little over 400,000. How much of your budget is contemplated?
4%.
4%. And how many people do you serve?
We serve unduplicated about 6,500 per year unduplicated. Those individuals may come in several times in a year, but to not count them for the multiple visits, just unduplicated, it's about 6,500.
And what services do you offer?
We offer outpatient services that could be mental health, development disabilities, or addictive disease services. That would include outpatient treatment services by a psychiatrist, nursing facility. We also provide group therapy for addictive disease services. In addition, we provide residential services for addictive disease, mental health, and developmental disabilities. In addition to all of that, we do provide shelter plus care services for those who may be homeless looking for residential services in that area. And pretty much the largest part of what we do that helps out the county most with this money is transportation services. We run a extensive transportation program for the county.
Okay. Those are all my questions.
Thank you.
Clayton County Board of Health. Hey, Dr. Bryan, how are you?
Alpha Bryan. Same questions?
Yes, just want to boast what you guys
Yeah,
do.
so somewhere between 3 and 4% of the budget. The total budget is about $20 million, and I'm pleased to say that has doubled since I've been here. When I first came, it was roughly $9 million.
And the services that we are able to offer.
Service is a huge array of services. If I could, I'll just divide them into categories very quickly. We certainly have child health services, including immunizations. Babies Can't Wait, which is for special kids. We have Children's First is a program that actually assesses young kids upon birth. It goes into the home to determine if there are other needs of the mothers and the child. And so that's just a few of the children's programs. Certainly in the women's category, we do family planning services. We also do breast test and more, which actually screens for breast and cervical cancer. We certainly do mammography screening as well. And we have some programs that actually assist women who are uninsured with further follow-up when there are abnormal results from breast test and more services. We also have a number of services for males, which include cancer screening for prostate, as well as just some sexual health and reproductive health that we do for our males now. That's in the clinical arena, but as you know, we also have large programs that address emergency preparedness and response activities. We have environmental and health services, which are responsible for inspecting restaurants, as well as swimming pools, tourist accommodation, and septic systems. So that's just a very small number of some of the services that we provide. I could go on. I have a huge list here, but I'll leave it at that.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bryan.
Certainly.
Clayton County Family Care. Hey, good evening.
Cynthia Jenkins, Executive Director.
What's your first name, Ms. Jenkins? I'm sorry.
Cynthia.
Cynthia. Thank you.
Sure.
Ms. Jenkins, same questions. Budget-wise, how much of the county's funding do you use?
Well, you're looking at, our whole budget is about approximately it's very small, $150,000. And of the county money, that's 22.
Okay. And how many people do you serve? Tell us what Clayton County Family Care does.
What we do is we sort of like take care of the overflow of people who need assistance, one-time assistance with their utilities, their rent, their mortgage. So what we try to do is divvy up the money, first come, first serve, depending upon how much somebody owes for rent or mortgage. That could be as much as $450 at one time, or another person could owe $70 for utilities, so it all depends. We also have our educational programs in which we try to help people learn how to budget. We try to help people get higher paid jobs. Most of the people who come through our doors are underemployed. They're not so much unemployed, they just don't make enough money to take care of their utilities after they paid their rent and their mortgages. So we average about, I would say last year we helped about 350 families, but of that one family you could have as many as 4 to 5 individuals.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
How many people come from District 2?
How many people come from your district?
You want to know how many calls we get?
You want to know how many people come from her
How
district?
many calls do we send over?
We get, oh God, our calls have doubled.
Yeah.
It's not unusual to get thousands of calls a week.
No. I was just saying from Tina
your
and
district?
I. Yes.
Oh, well, the most people come from Riverdale.
Right.
Okay, and the next is Jonesboro.
They get all the money.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sure.
We heard from Clayton House. Did he want to come back? Did you want to? We heard from you earlier. Did you want to come back? You don't have to.
I don't have to, just what to say. After what I've heard, I'm still Steve Fincher, president. Usually I'm Steve Fincher, alcoholic at the meetings. I just wanted to thank y'all for listening to me tonight, because the people that come there, one thing I didn't say, see, we're one of the few places that hold open AA meetings. Well, what that means, a closed meeting is where only an alcoholic can go. Our meeting, we're set up where, say, a mother with 2 or 3 kids can bring her kids, and she's not asked to leave because she has the kids with her. We supply supplies for the kids to sit down and color or play, or, you know, we try to help the whole family. You know, I just don't know what else to say, you know.
That's good.
Really don't.
Thank
Just
you.
that I got a lot of people that help me that don't get any money or anything except from me. And they're great people from your county and your city that got sober there and have been sober for years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations on your sobriety as well.
Do I need to stay for the rest of the meeting? My wife is sitting in the truck.
Well, unless
You want to
Commissioner
hear
Rooks
us?
have any.
You want to hear us vote on this, don't you? It will take a little.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I would.
5 minutes. Clayton County Department of Family and Children Services. Anybody? Hearts to Nourish Hope. Housing Authority of Clayton County. Mr. Green, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. Same questions.
Okay, the Housing Authority has a budget of about $160,000 that we use for housing rehabs, electrical problems, roof leaks, and stuff of that nature. We receive about $10,000 from the county, which is about 6% of that budget.
And how many people do you serve in the county?
Ours is based on a first come, first served basis, so as many as we can take care of with that amount of money.
Okay. I think that's it. Any other questions?
Thank you, Mr. Green.
Okay, and we did take care of the.
Yes, he did. He wants you guys to know he took care of one of my constituents, and I appreciate that. Prevention Plus Incorporated.
Good evening.
Hey.
I'm Tammy Miller.
Ms. Miller.
Yes. So Prevention Plus is a 501c3 nonprofit SACS accredited high school and GED prep program. Many of you may know us by our former name, Forest Park Street School. Our work is really grounded in helping young people who, for whatever reason, public school has just not been a good fit. They've not been successful, they have been off track to graduation, and they can't seem to close that loop of their lives. We support public school by offering supportive services, but we also have our own high school. And we like to think of it as we come to the aid and help of the least of these young people who won't get their high school diploma, they're off track, or they have taken the high school graduation test too many times. And so we enroll in our programs. We walk with them through life. We help them earn a high school diploma or a GED, and then we help them move on to life after college.
Okay. And I see you're getting $15,000 from the county.
Thank you.
How much of your budget is contemplated using the $15,000?
Well, it's somewhere around 10 to 20%, around 10%. We lost funding from the Department of Labor last year just due to the competitive nature of the grant, so that's half of our funding. So this year, more than ever, the money is certainly needed to help continue our work.
And how many students are you serving?
Somewhere between 50 and 75,
a year.
depending on where they are and what their needs are.
Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Rainbow House.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Holly Adams. I'm with Rainbow House. I'm the executive director.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
please tell us how many children you serve.
Last year we had 62 children live in the shelter with us, and we had some of those children stay with us over a year.
And how do they get to your shelter?
They're placed, they're in DFACS custody, in protective custody, and brought to us from DFACS and placed
Okay.
with us. We also conducted 250 forensic interviews through our Child Advocacy Center, and we service those families as well, offering mental health services, and any other support services, family services, child advocacy, while they're going through the process of prosecuting or the perpetrator.
Okay. And the county gives 175.
Yes, ma'am.
How much of your budget is contemplated?
This year it is 22.7%. Our budget is $769,000. It has decreased over the past couple of years. Budget fluctuates up to about 900 or so.
Okay.
More than that.
Those are all my questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Southern Crescent sexual assault.
My name is Christy Wooten. I'm the programs
I'm sorry,
coordinator.
would you
at
speak
Southern
up,
Crescent.
please?
I'm sorry. My name is Christy Wooten. I'm the programs coordinator at Southern Crescent.
Hey, Ms. Wooten, how many Clayton County residents do you guys serve?
We saw from January to June of this year 285, in which 40% of those are Clayton County residents.
40?
40%, yes, ma'am.
Your budget is based, you get 30,000 from us. How
Mhm.
much is your budget?
That's 9% of our full budget.
9%?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you guys been in existence?
20 years this year.
Thank you. University of Georgia Cooperative Extension Services.
I'm Riley.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Same questions.
About 1/4 of our budget comes from the county. Other sources are UGA and the Board of Education and grants.
And what do you do?
We provide the 4-H program. We provide family and consumer sciences, which includes nutrition, budgeting. Family care was mentioned. We provide budgeting for them. Family and child development services, meaning parenting programs. HUD counseling. We have a HUD counselor on site. And then agriculture and natural environmental services, and that is our arborist, our agriculture agent, horticulture services. It's a wide variety.
You're dealing with a lot of students.
Yes, we are.
And how many high school students are you have participating with you guys?
Well, we've served about, well, we're in 32 elementary schools plus the high schools, and we served about 3,200 students this year.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Soil and Water Conservation District, Good Shepherd Clinic, Vietnamese Center. Hi, how are you?
Fran Fuller, but I'm gonna change my name to Fran Wynn.
Okay.
Roughly, we
You got
have-
married too?
Huh?
You get married too? Never mind.
I can't hear good. No, I was just gonna do that for political reasons.
Oh, okay.
We're so happy that y'all support us. I want you to know that. Tonight, I have our family here that just got their citizenship. This is the first public meeting as citizens of the United States that they have attended.
All right, how about that? How many residents do you serve?
Well, probably between 50 and 70. It depends on who comes in the doors. We'd like to be able to count the 8,300 servicemen and women that we sent cards to last year. We do that. That's one of our biggest outreach. Down at the library this year, we had 50 to 75 children that came and did cards. We currently teach English as a second language, citizenship, teaching the children Vietnamese that were born here so they can speak, write it, and know about their culture. We also teach Microsoft. We teach beginning computer. We teach Chinese, and everything we teach is very, very economical. When you can get Microsoft Office for $20 a month, I think that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
And that's where, besides what we get from you, that's where our money comes from.
Okay.
Our teachers are totally volunteer. They give of their time, and the money that we get from the county and the money that we get from our teachers go into our general fund to pay the utilities and sponsor programs like the veterans. Also, we work with the VA here. We also work with, if a family comes to us, so we had a Latino family last year, 7 children, husband deported, water cut off. We raised the money to get their water back on for them.
Very good.
So our door's open. It varies. We're a multicultural learning center. We're anything you want to teach, we'll do it.
Very good. Thank you. Any other questions? That's all I have.
Thank you.
Historic Jonesboro. Good evening.
Hello. I'm Barbara Emmert, President of Historical Jonesboro, Clayton County.
And tell us what you do.
I'm sorry, I have a hearing loss. Can you speak just a little
Yes, and I have a very faint voice. Tell us what you do.
Well, I think most of you know that we are the County Historical Society. We preserve some of the buildings, the artifacts, the relics, the papers, and the stories to preserve the heritage of the county. We then share this with our local citizens and tourists alike, and we are one of the 2 top tourist attractions in the county, which that means we bring in tax dollars for people who want to shop, buy gas, spend the night. All those things come through our guests.
Okay, and we're giving you just $10,000. How much of your budget is contemplated on what the county gives?
Actually, none of our budget is based on that. If we don't receive the funding, the grant, we won't do the project.
Okay.
But we receive no other funding from the county.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I have a question on that. Ms. Emmert, last year was the first year we did $10,000 for Historical Jonesboro, and that was for the garden.
Yes.
This is in addition to that? Because I noticed it's been a year and that garden still isn't up.
That's right. The reason is that the SPLOST funding in Jonesboro what came through, and they're doing sidewalks, and they're paving Carriage Lane, which runs in front of the house, and which also runs beside the garden. So they advised us not, the first thing we have to do with that funding is to put in water lines and a meter reader, and they did advise us not to do that until the construction was completed. Thankfully, they're paving now on the road, so it should be completed soon. But we've just been holding off, waiting for because that's the first step for the money to be used.
You didn't get the money from last year, correct?
We did get it, yes.
You did get it. So this is double payment for the same project?
No. This is not the same project. This is, that project is the Blaylock Garden, which is in the old property that y'all leased to us. This is for the Stately Oaks property itself. We have mostly old brick sidewalks, and it's a very dangerous situation. We've had people, in fact, we had a lady just about 2 weeks ago who fell on where the bricks are coming up and had a deep gash in her head. Fortunately, she wasn't seriously injured. But anyway, it's one is a matter of safety, the other is a matter of beautification, and the third reason is that we have a serious drainage problem, and we believe that the garden will help correct that. But it is a totally different area of our properties that we're requesting it for.
Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, Amazing Grace. Good evening. Tell us your name and what services you provide.
Martha Holly. And we have a community resource center, right, located off Point South Parkway. It's a resource center that offers variety of services for the community, free food, free clothes, and everything that you can think that can help humanity. With that said, I just want to run down some numbers that we did last year for you. Overall, I believe we've serviced people coming through the door. 1,128 individuals did that. In that, we serviced 235 youth and children. These people included babies with no clothes, that they brought them in, that we put clothes and shoes on them. 21 people came for community service from the district attorney's office. We did not just allow them to get community service, but I used my expertise as a counselor, as a pastor, to change their lives. Most of them now come to say thank you for what we did for them. 65 people attended our Women Be Filled conference that we host twice a year. This women included women who have lost their homes, were broken, needed some kind of support in the community. And we also awarded them with a small scholarship of some sort to help them get back on their feet. We serviced 213 students with book bags, school supply when we had our back to school. 111 people went through our health and screening education. That was included a woman who is leaving because of that particular day. About 40 people attended the community education and Christmas party that we had. In that, we adopted 2 families that we clothed, we gave them food for that week, and other things that the children needed. So just to briefly give you a gist of what we did. And we thank you so very much, because that was the very first time we had any kind of help. And Chairman Tanner, because of that, we also have a better sign with our name on it, which we never had, that people asked us. I came there and I didn't see you, so this time you don't have to look hard. Okay. We are visible. Okay. Any other question, please?
Yes, just how significant is the funding that you get from the county?
I believe our budget, I didn't look at the numbers, it was a last minute call, but I believe our budget was like 54 and we had a 10,000.
Okay, that's it, thank you.
Thank you all so much, and God bless you. Know that we pray for you.
Thank you.
I thank my colleagues for obliging me and the community. We just want to demonstrate some of the services the county can offer when we partner with other organizations.
Okay, I believe we have a motion and a second. Unless there are any other questions, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before you go to the next one, is there any reason or any objection from any of the board members to read the rest? Take them all at once.
No, that's fine.
We're good. Please take the remainder together.
Next is resolution number 2014-237. Excuse me. Which is a resolution authorizing the placement of a plaque in memory of L.C. Reeves in recognition of over 40 years of dedication to J.W. Arnold Park, to authorize the chairman to otherwise perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes. Resolution number 2014-238 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the Clayton County Board of Health to accept grant funds to facilitate a teen pregnancy prevention program for youths in Clayton County, to authorize the chairman and the director of the Parks and Recreation Department to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes. Resolution number 2014-239 is a resolution to provide for the adoption and submission to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development of the Clayton County Program Year 2013-2014 Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, to authorize the chairman to execute any documents required for submission, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes. Resolution number 2014-240 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County on behalf of Clayton County Extension Service to enter into a grant agreement with United Way of Metropolitan Atlanta, and in accordance therewith to accept grant funds for the purpose of providing parenting education, to authorize the chairman to execute the agreement and otherwise perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, all as may be required under the terms of the agreement, to provide an effective date of this resolution and for other purposes. Resolution number 2014-241 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County on behalf of its Department of Information Technology to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with Gwinnett County to provide for interoperable communications between the county's public safety digital networks, to authorize the chairman or the director of information technology as its designee to execute the agreement and otherwise perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution and for other purposes. Resolution number 2014-242 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into a professional services agreement with Path Foundation Incorporated, providing for the terms and conditions under which services related to designing a greenway trail from the Reed Stevens property to the Lake Spivey Golf Club's clubhouse will be administered, and set forth the responsibilities of project manager for trail construction, to enter into a project agreement with Path Foundation Incorporated to complete the design documents, to authorize the chairman to execute the agreements and otherwise perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of the resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution and for other purposes. Resolution number 2014-243 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into a professional service agreement with Path Foundation Incorporated, providing for the terms and conditions under which final services relating to designing a greenway trail in and around Clayton County International Park will be administered, and set forth the responsibilities of project manager for trail construction, to enter into a project agreement with Path Foundation Incorporated to complete the design documents, to authorize the chairman to execute the agreement and otherwise perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution and for other purposes. Resolution number 2014-244 is a resolution to amend Resolution number 2014-212, which allowed the county to enter into a license agreement with Lake Spivey Community Incorporated to host the Celebrate Lake Spivey community event at the Lakeview Amphitheater at Clayton County International Park, to authorize the chairman to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution and for other purposes. Resolution number 2014-245 is a resolution to enter into a license agreement with William E. Tate Chapter Number 1, Disabled American Veterans Department of Georgia Incorporated, to host a Veterans Cookout at Clayton County International Park, to authorize the chairman to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution and for other purposes. Resolution number 2014-246 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County on behalf of the Clayton County Senior Services Department to accept donated funds from United Way and Clients of the Aging Program to be used in connection with the Meals on Wheels program and transportation purposes, to authorize the chairman to accept the donations on behalf of Clayton County and to execute any documents necessary and otherwise to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, all as may be required, to provide an effective date of this resolution and for other purposes. Resolution number 2014-247 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into a facility use contract with Clayton County Public Schools for use of the S. Truett Cathy Professional Learning Center to conduct a public hearing open house meeting in connection with the Mount Zion Boulevard Battle Creek Road widening project, to authorize the chairman to execute the facility use contract and otherwise to perform all other acts necessary to accomplish the intent of the resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution and for other purposes.
All right, is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Probably moving second. Questions on any of the items?
I have one question. And that's for Mr. Ejiki.
Mr. Ejiki.
Yes, Commissioner.
On the capper that you provided to us, I know it's indicated, and let me give you the page reference. Page 9, bottom page. Just a reporting, what you put in your report to post this online. You said you're gonna move toward doing that?
Yes.
Okay, is there an anticipated date?
We are also by the end of next month, you will start seeing some of our documents online.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there anything that the public can access right now?
Once they call us, we can email it to them.
Okay.
And the only problem with the keeper is that sometimes the size of the document is too large to go through our email pipeline.
Okay.
Yeah.
But would they be able to see everything that we are seeing?
Yes, once we
once you post it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's my question. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. We've got a motion been properly moved. Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, requesting an executive session for litigation and personnel.
Okay. At this time, the board will consider a recommendation of Chief Operating Officer R.L. Anderson for the Director of Central Services position.
Good evening, Commissioners. I have the resume for the clerk to pass to the board if possible. Thank you. I'm here to make the recommendation for the Director of Senior Services. Excuse me, Central Services. I'm feeling like 5 positions. It's okay. She's passing down a resume.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
On Wednesday, July 30th, and Monday, August 4th, I led a panel to recommend the strongest candidate to be considered for appointment to the Director of Central Services. The interview panelists consisted of myself, Chief Financial Officer Ramona Thurman, Resources Director Renee Bright, and Chief Staff Attorney Christy Barnes. We assessed education, management, and leadership skills, purchasing, contracts, and risk management experience, financial and budget management, small business enterprise and project management, like a procurement card and small local business enterprise. And through the interview, we assessed strategic thinking, communications, and professionalism. There were 7 candidates that we interviewed, and I am recommending the board to consider appointing Ms. Courtney Hunt, a Clayton County resident, who earned 70 points out of the average matrix points of 90 points on the matrix. Ms. Hunt earned a Master of Public Administrations and Public Management at Central Michigan University. She earned a Bachelor's of Business Administration and Business Management at Clayton State University. She possesses over 18 years of work experience with 7 years in management. She has nearly 10 years of experience in local government in purchasing, contracting, and operations for Fulton County Schools in the city of Atlanta. Some of her notable accomplishments includes she revised the purchasing code in the process in the Fulton County Schools. She implemented an Oracle database for the city of Atlanta. She implemented an automation system to assist with more efficiency and contract approval for the board, and she currently manages the procurement card program for Fulton County Schools. Also manages contracts in excess of $10 million and the recommended salary is $85,204, which is aligned with what the Director of Human Resources recommended. And so I ask that you strongly consider Ms. Courtney Hunt to be the Director of Central Services.
I have a question, just about the salary. HR Director recommended the $85,204?
Correct.
What was the posted salary?
Before the 3% increase, it was $82,723.
And why was there a recommended increase if it wasn't
3%
posted?
COLA.
The 3%, it's the new starting salary is
The
all it
posted
is.
salary was on May
Okay, it's before
May
we
27th, before the end of the fiscal year.
So the 3%,
Brings it up to the 85,204.
okay, the 3% that everybody's gotten?
Right.
Okay.
Correct. All right, I'll make the motion to accept the COO's recommendation to, I'll look for the lady's name again.
Ms. Courtney Hunt.
Ms. Courtney Hunt, appoint Ms. Courtney Hunt as the Director of Central Services. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Probably moved in second. Are there any other questions?
I have a question.
Commissioner Edmondson.
How many people work in the Senior Services Department? Central Services Department.
It's 21.
And how many people work in the Community Development Department?
If I could recall the org chart, I probably would say around 36. Is that accurate? How many? Patrick, you said community development. Did you say community development? What's the? 54? Okay. I have 20 org charts to memorize, but we have 25 in Central Services and 54 in community development.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
It's 3-2, so it fails.
That's not in
2 to
favor,
3.
right?
2 to
It's
3.
2 to 3.
Oh, 2 to 3.
Yes.
Okay. So 2 in favor and 3 opposed. Is that correct?
So the recommendation fails.
Okay. Thank you. All right, next, the board will consider some board appointments. The first is the appointment to the Board of Appeals. The term of Mr. DeMont Davis expired September 2nd of this year. The new term is for 3 years, expiring September 2nd of 2017.
All right, I make the recommendation to reappoint Mr. DeMont Davis. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Probably moving the second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
It's 4-1. Mr. Edmondson opposed.
Okay. Next, we have appointments to the Clayton Community Service Board as mandated by House Bill 100 and Senate Bill 349. The board requests the appointments of the following Clayton County citizens, and I'll read them separately for a vote.
I'm sorry, the board?
The board, this came
board?
from Dr. Andrea Cheever.
You mean her board, Community Service Board?
That's how she had it
Okay.
written, yes. The board requests the appointments of the following Clayton County citizens: Bernie Bowmaster, who has been serving on the Community Service Board as a Development Disabilities Representative. Is there a motion from the board? We're doing this separately. I
prepared to
just
vote
said
on any of
separately.
these.
You're not prepared to vote on any of
I
them?
don't know any of them. I'm not prepared to vote.
Okay, and resumes were sent. Did you receive a resume, Ms.
I
Rhodes?
did, along with 20,000 sheets of paper to read.
Okay, so is that the consensus of the board for all of these, or
The board
does?
member wants to make a recommendation.
If anybody else is ready, I'm
ready,
fine, but
yeah.
if they're not, they're not.
I'm fine with the recommendations.
Okay, that's 2 so far. Anybody else?
All right, let's just hold it over then.
Okay, are we holding over all of them from Clayton Community Service Board? Or just this segment?
Census.
If I particularly, since it says a Clayton County district and they're listed in my district and I don't know who they are, they've not contacted me, I would like the pleasure of talking to the people who live in my district.
Duly noted. We'll hold the first set of the recommendations or the appointments and drop down to the next, which is the Clayton Center requests. for the Community Service Board. Is there any?
That's what we're talking about.
It's the
Are we-
whole
I'm
package,
talking
right?
about, no. Are y'all
It's
not set
separate.
to vote on any of them?
I mean,
Because there's 5 up for appointment.
Right, and two of them have to be elected officials, and I'm
Right, so
assuming
I'm
Dr.
down to-
Cheever's talked to them, so
And she
let's move
recommended
forward
them.
on them at least.
On which two, the
On
elected
the
officials?
elected officials that have obviously agreed to serve. So let's move forward on those two, at least.
I've also spoke to an elected official that was interested in serving on that board, and that's Mayor Joy Day. So I'm gonna place that in form of a recommendation or a nomination for to appoint her to the Community Service Board. Is there a second for that?
I'll second it.
Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay, Chairman, if you mind if I ask a question, since there are
Yeah.
2 on here and only 2 are to be elected, that's in lieu of whom?
Whichever,
Ms. Cheevers, excuse me if I'm right, Ms. Cheevers has submitted her recommendations, but like any other board or appointment, this is
Right.
ours, whether we take those
Exactly.
into consideration or
But
not.
I'm asking in lieu of whom on here? You have a Dr. Alika Anderson, you have a Ansel
And-
Davis.
and
Well, there's
lieu
2
of-
vacancies. It's not in lieu of anybody. There's
Right.
just 2 vacant seats. You're
Right.
making a recommendation for one, period.
Okay, so you don't even want to consider these, that's what I'm asking.
We already decided that we weren't interested for tonight.
Okay, some of you said you were. Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Okay, on the first one, that's my recommendations. Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Okay, so that
Hey.
failed because that was 2 to 3.
2 to 3. It failed. Is there another recommendation?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I recommend the recommendation that came from Dr. Bryant, which is Ansel
Cheever.
Davis. Dr. Cheevers, I'm sorry, Ansel Davis of Riverdale City Council.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
Okay.
I recommend Dr. Lika Anderson from the school board.
Second.
Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Okay, and the next segment is devoted to zoning petitions. All of them lie in District 1, Commissioner Sona Gregory's district. First, we have Travelers Rest Missionary Baptist Church. Is Miss Yvonne Ellis here? If so, would you step forward, please, to the podium?
Miss Ellis, would you come up, please?
Miss Ellis, can you hear me? She's not here. Is there a representative in her place?
Ma'am, can you come up to the podium and speak into the mic, please?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Hazel Smith, and we are the ones who are renting the gym from the Travelers Rest Church to put in the vocational training center. And so the last month when we came and we got the
Can
approval, I'm sure.
Please excuse me 1 second. Casey, who made the petition? I mean, was it the church?
The
or-
church, of course, yes.
The church, so.
And yes,
Okay, so
Travelers
they
Rest.
can't, so the people who are using it, can they properly represent tonight as far as
There
us
isn't
voting?
anyone here, apparently. We came.
And I understand, and I know that church recently lost their pastor.
Yes, of
That's why
course.
I'm a little confused.
Yeah.
So,
It's more of a legal question. Can somebody who's not a petitioner?
yeah, and given the, you know, instability at the church right now, I'm just kind of concerned about voting on this without a representative from the actual
From the church.
Yeah,
yeah.
yes, ma'am. Yeah, let's
I,
hold this.
I'm aware
please.
of that, but I just wanted you to know that we were here, that somebody
I
was here.
appreciate it.
And we
Yeah.
understand and we appreciate you
Right.
actually being here, ma'am, but in lieu of what Ms. Gregory just said, we're going to hold it until next
Okay.
meeting.
Now, wait a minute, I have a
Next, zoning.
question for,
Mr.
for,
Edmondson.
for legal counsel. We have to have consent of the petitioner to hold at this point, but the petitioner's not here to give that consent. So what do we do?
Then there's no one to consent with. There's no party to consent with. It's up to the board. The board can decide on its own to hold it.
We can legally do that?
Yes, there's no one to consent.
Yeah, so let's hold it.
consent with
All
for them
right.
to hold it.
I'd like to hold it.
Okay.
Till we hear from the church.
To hold it, okay.
We'll hold it.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Hold it.
Would you like to hold this until your next meeting, your second meeting in October?
Yes, let's say second meeting in October, to give us plenty of time to.
Second
That
meeting
means
in
they have to
October.
re-advertise and everything, right, Ms. Kurzak? Mr. Hancock's nodding yes.
That's October
The date will be the
21st.
second meeting in
October
October.
21st.
But we also have to hear the both sides if we were to consider it for an up-down.
I think you would still have to re-advertise for a new hearing because you haven't had the hearing as of now. So she can re-advertise for a new public hearing date.
I mean, that's their cost, that's y'all's call, but I want to make sure I understand.
Any other questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, the next petition is zoning petition Wanna L. Leary, requesting a conditional use permit from Article 3.7 RS 110 Residential District to allow for a home-based food baking business. This property is located at 5569 Sapphire Circle in Ellenwood, otherwise known as parcel number 12173B, C052. The property contains approximately 0.17 acres of land currently zoned RS 110. Is Ms. Leary here today? Okay, step
Please
forward.
take the podium, please.
And
Is
before
there-
you speak,
yeah.
I was about to ask, is there any opposition to this petition? Here? Okay, Ms. Leary.
Ms. Leary, we can move forward, right? Christy, we can move forward.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Leary. I just wanted to be too, I talked to the HOA members, and I'm sure they're settled and so forth. So I'm prepared to ask the board to approve your petition.
Thank you.
For your cottage food license. That's all right.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you.
This
Okay.
is the second person who say they just make the
That's
best
right.
cookies, and
Okay, and the last zoning petition is John Barnett, who is requesting a conditional use permit from Article 3.25 Neighborhood Mixed Use District to allow for gasoline sales. This property is located at 2240 Forest Parkway in Morrow, otherwise known as parcel number 12180CF007, and it contains approximately 1.17 acres of land currently zoned neighborhood mixed use. Mr. Barnett? Okay, before you speak, is there any opposition to this particular one? Okay, all right, we have one individual who opposes, but you can go ahead and present your case, and then we'll hear from the opposition.
Okay. Good evening, Chairman and Board of Commissioners.
Good evening.
I would like to ask for your permission for this conditional use permit because of the facts that gasoline sales in that area are basically needed. You have a convenience store on State Highway 331, and the nearest convenience store to the east is roughly half a mile. To the west is about 2.4 miles, and then to the south.
Which highway did you say?
331,
which is Forest Parkway.
Okay,
State.
I never called it that. Okay.
Okay. Yes,
All right.
and there's no sidewalks on Forest Parkway, so a lot of the community residents that are in walking distance, they have to walk down Forest Parkway. There's no sidewalks. The trees are basically growing over on a lot of that area, growing over the edge. So therefore, you're almost practically in the road, you know, on a state highway. So that's, and as far as just the community itself, it provides for, provides an area for the community to gather, and so it brings a lot of socialization and things like that for the community in that particular area.
Okay.
This building was basically operated as a convenience store restaurant for 5 years, and then we had a small incident as far as the restaurant was concerned, and so we were closed down for a couple of years, and so that's why we're requesting the conditional use permit again. So the building is relatively new. Basically, the board approved it back in I think it was 2004, and we're just asking that permission again so that we can continue gasoline sales. That's it.
Okay, and we had one individual who was here in opposition. You want to come up to the podium, please.
More of a question and concern, it may be a misunderstanding. That address, 2240 Forest Parkway, is in Lake City, not Morrow.
Is it, Casey?
Is it Morrow? Because, well, the reason I was asking is it shows up as at the intersection of Jonesboro Road and Forest Parkway. It doesn't, I know the facility now that he's talking about, it's been closed, but when I pulled up the address, it showed it right across, or next to the AutoZone, that mechanical service building.
This is an unincorporated Clayton jurisdiction. We have it running a zip code that goes with a Morrow address.
Okay, that, I withdraw.
Sure, okay.
I was afraid it was on that corner.
No, okay.
It showed on the map.
And once again, this is kind of like a do-over. They had this conditional use permit before, and because of the closure and so forth. So I'm prepared to side with ZAG and approve this petition.
Second.
Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, and if there's no further business to discuss, we need a motion from the board to go into executive session, please.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you.
Ms. Kurzik,